Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Boston Sports Nuts. As football season approaches, actually, there's always football season.
Yeah, it never
between
ends.
the draft, free agency.
There's nothing Jim likes more than that, too.
Yeah, and the schedule announcement. I know Jim was really excited about the scheduling announcement. That was
NBA Summer League starts in July.
Okay.
That's right.
As football season approaches, we thought we would take this opportunity to elect the 20 greatest New England Patriot players of all time. Now, we've also done the Boston Red Sox, the Boston Celtics, and now we're going to do the New England Patriots, formerly known as the Boston Patriots, and for a short period of time, the Bay State Patriots.
When was that? I forget.
It was in an off season before they became the New England Patriots.
Yep.
For a brief period of time, they were the Bay State.
Bay State. Oh,
Patriots.
yes. Okay.
Is this ringing a bell?
Yes, it does.
Oh, yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, great trivia question.
Yeah,
Okay.
good one.
And just for those of you that haven't seen our top 20 shows, the way we do it is each one of us ranks 1 through 25, our greatest player. Then our intrepid producer, Evan, totals up the numbers. He decides who are the top 20. And if there's a tie, we allow Evan to break the tie.
Yep.
Evan, were there any ties? Oh, yes, there were some ties this year. Were there not?
There were 3 ties in total in this vote.
Oh, well, a lot.
Wow,
Okay, this
a lot
is
of
going to
ties.
be interesting. So Evan's going to have a big say in this top 20. All right, a couple of things. I think we all agreed off air that unlike baseball and basketball, statistics are a little bit not as helpful with this exercise. You know, evaluating a left tackle versus a wide receiver versus a safety
Agree.
is a little tough. Another challenge that I had was some New England Patriots were really awesome, but for a short period of time.
Correct.
So we all left it to ourselves to determine whether a 3-year or a 4-year span.
I found this the toughest out of the 3 so far that we've done.
Yeah, it was more than enough. And also, I admit myself to some recency bias here. The team has been so successful in the last, I would say, 30 years since the arrival of Bill Parcells and Drew Bledsoe, that it's kind of hard to remember how good some of those guys were from the 60s and 70s, although I certainly did try to take them into account. So without further ado.
Well, my impression of this is the top 5, for me, were very clear. And the rest of it could have been 40 to 50 players.
Yeah, we talked about that off air. Yeah. I found myself in the same boat. Like, after like 5, I was like, I could pick any of these guys out of 40, 50. I'm like,
well, I tried some objective measures. I looked at whether or not they made all pro as Patriots, whether or not they made first team, second team, how dominant were they in postseason play and so forth. But anyway. Let's get going. All right, so we're going to make this quick, and we're going to start with Ken, the number 20 greatest player of, and by the way, I don't know these.
yeah, we don't know.
This
Right,
is like
exactly.
None of
Karnak
us
the
do.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've been sealed in a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Wagnall's porch since noon today. All right, the number 20th greatest New England Patriot player of all time, working our way up, Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi. Ken.
Okay, Teddy Bruschi, I fell just under 20 for me, like at 22. Love him. I just couldn't put him in the he made the 25.
All right, well, why did he make the top 25?
Oh, he was a great linebacker, a great leader, championship player.
All right.
I had him at 20, right on the nose.
Wow. Right on the
Great player, a leader of the team, as Ken said, and came up with a lot of huge plays in playoff games.
Yeah. Teddy Bruschi's one of those guys, and the NFL is unique in this aspect. Some guys don't capture the imagination of the national public and media, but the local fans know that he's a really great player. He straddled 2 eras. He was a very good player under Bill Parcells. He was also a very good player under Pete Carroll. He still had a lot left in the tank until he had that unfortunate stroke. But I think he's well-deserved to be in the top 20.
I agree.
I had him a little higher than you guys, which is how I think he got into the top 20. Teddy Bruschi, and by the way, he's a local resident. He
That's
may
right.
be watching this show.
Oh, he's
Congratulations.
definitely watching.
We will be sending you we have awards for all the players in the top 20. All right, number 19.
They in your place, Ken?
Yeah,
You
This
got 'em.
this is a tie broken by our intrepid producer, Evan. The 19th greatest player of all time, Another former local resident, Mr. Steve Grogan. Jim, Grogs.
Groggs, I had at 18, so I'm right there. Very good quarterback, not an elite quarterback in the NFL in his time. One of the most exciting Patriots players, I think. He rushed for over 800 yards in a season. He played in the Super Bowl. He wasn't the starter, but he played. A great Patriot, by all accounts, a great guy, and I think should definitely be in the top 20.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about Steve Grogan was that he came up as a running quarterback and ended his career almost immobile from knee injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendous player when he came up. Now, his career was very similar to Joe Namath's. He was a very mobile quarterback early in his career, became a good thrower. Namath was always good at passing and running until he got hurt. If you look at their statistics side by side, and I invite you folks to do that in Football Reference, they're virtually identical. What Grogan doesn't have for his career is the Super Bowl championship and all the cachet which comes with being a New York Jet. But, very similar career statistics.
Well, talk about
and
local.
I think well-deserved to be in the top 20.
Well, talk about local cachet that he has. Lived in Sharon for a little while, then moved to, I believe, Rentham.
Owned the store, Grogan Marciano Sporting Goods.
Right. Big players in a charity called the Kennedy Donovan Center. Raised money for good causes. I had him at 22. I wanted to go higher for a couple of reasons. One, I loved watching him play. He was fearless, I thought, as a quarterback. Absolutely fearless. Two, I actually hung out with him a little bit socially. Mm-hmm. We went to many events together. He played basketball at the Y that I belonged to for years. And I played on a men's team with him in a Sharon men's basketball league. Knew his wife and did some. So personal connection
And
with
he was
him.
a guest on Sports Nuts.
And a guest on Sports Nuts many years ago.
People
but
forget.
Just a great guy. I will say one thing: when you play basketball with a guy like that, you see athletic talent and you see the quarterback anticipate. Because we would play basketball, and he knew what you were going to do before you did it.
That's the professional athlete for you.
Yeah.
Okay, number 18. Evan must have broken this tie with Steve Grogan. Number 18, Ben Coates. So far, we have gotten 3 players who came up with the Patriots before the Belichick era. I'm going to start this one. Ben Coates was Rob Gronkowski light. Big, strong, good hands, tough, a pretty good blocker. One of the great New England Patriots of the 1990s, a truly great player. I remember the game the Patriots needed to win for seeding purposes, one of the last games of the season in 1996. He made an absolutely sensational catch at the goal line in Giant Stadium, backed his way into the end zone. The Patriots came back from 22. They were down 22-3 to win the game. Just a really, really great player and well-deserved to be in the top 20. I'm glad we thought of him. Ken.
I had him much higher, actually. I loved Ben Coates. I just thought he caught everything you threw to him, made a ton of big plays. He was, I believe, Bledsoe's go-to guy for quite a few years, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, he just seemed to catch a million passes to me every year. Like I said, I don't have the stats, but I loved Ben Coates. I had him like at 13, actually.
All right, Jim.
I probably kept him down because I didn't put him in there. To me, he's one of the 40 players I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been as high as the top 10 or could have been out of it. I put him out of it. But that's not to take away from anything that both you guys said, which I completely agree with. Very key Patriot, Bledsoe's go-to guy, and another guy I really liked watching play.
Yeah.
All right, number 17 on the hit list. And we're moving along quickly here. I like it.
Yeah.
Number 17, another guy from the past.
Wow.
Jim Nantz, the famous running back from the late 60s and 70s. Jim Nantz. Ken.
Jim Nantz, my early days watching the Boston Patriots at that time, I just thought he was awesome. He was just big and strong and bold people. And back then, running was a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
And he could run. He was a great player. I had him like at 12, actually.
Wow. I had him at 22. Great runner. Again, one of my introductions to the Boston Patriots was Jim Nantz. The reason I didn't have him higher was he had 2 awesome seasons with over 1,000 yards, and the other seasons were good but not awesome. So, but 22 is high to me on this list.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Well, in 1962 and 1967, he had over 1,200 yards.
And they only
in
played
both
how many
seasons,
games
in
then?
14 games.
Yeah.
And led the league in rushing attempts, led the league in yards both years, and in one year he had 11 touchdowns, which is pretty good for a running back. Retired young, around 29, 30. Didn't have a very long career. Many running backs don't, but very durable. After his rookie season, he played almost every game throughout his career.
Loved
So very,
Jim
very
Russo.
deserving, and also passed away young. Many, many years ago. I think he was only in his 50s or something. So again, remarkable. We have not gotten to the Belichick era yet.
Oof.
All right, number 16 on the top 20 greatest Patriots of all time. You see, I should say greatest Patriots of all time because some of these guys never played for the New England Patriots.
Correct.
Boston Patriots or the
That's
Bay
right.
State Patriots.
Yeah.
All right, number 16. All right, here we go. Logan Mankins. Logan Mankins. Jim, I think this is you.
Okay, Logan Mankins. You're going to hear this a lot from me. In the 40 for me. I did not rank him in the top 25. I know there's a lot of lists that have him up there. Great offensive lineman. No problem with him being in the top 20. I didn't put him there, but I got no problem with it. Great Patriot.
It's funny. I remember the day he was drafted. He was drafted 32. And somebody on the NFL Network, one of those talking heads, they asked him what was the best pick in the first round. He said Logan Mankins,
Really?
which gave me, I was like, oh, really? A guard is the best pick in the first round? That's great. He had a great career, never won a ring.
Never
He
won
straddled.
a ring.
He
I also
straddled.
don't.
Came
I
up
also
in 05 and left in 13.
right, and I don't think he's in the top 3 offensive linemen, which is one of the reasons I didn't put him in the top 20.
Yeah.
So a
had
little
him-
surprised he finished that high. You must have had him very high.
I did. I had him like a 10, somewhere
Okay.
around 10.
So what did you like about Logan Mankins?
I just thought he was a dominant player at his position for a long time. I didn't base it on not winning a championship, though. So, I mean, that's right, he didn't. But I just thought he was one of the best linemen in the league for a long time.
Actually, I have 4 linemen over him, I should say.
Wow.
Now that I look.
Who'd that be?
I know one of them.
I know one of them. Okay, here we go with number 15. And again, this is another tie that the intrepid producer, Evan, broke. Number 15, greatest Patriot of all time. Number 11, Drew Bledsoe. I'm going to go first with this
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
This guy does not get enough credit in the local and national media. Let me tell you about Drew Bledsoe. He came into the town that had never really had, I think, a nationally recognized star NFL player of the modern era, the ESPN era, the era where guys become stars on a magnitude that we didn't see when we were growing up. And he was one of the first. He was a good soldier. He was tough. He was big. Was he Tom Brady? No, but no one is. Was he Steve Grogan, fleet of foot? No. Was he the most accurate passer ever? No.
What was he?
He was a big, strong, solid starting quarterback. Let me put it this way. If Drake May is Drew Bledsoe, I will take it. I will take it. Big, strong, tough, makes big plays. He got happy feet near the end of his career, in large part because at some point he didn't have such a great offensive line. He played with a lot of different offensive coordinators. I like Drew Bledsoe a lot, and he's an amazing ex-Patriot. I mean, the way he comes back and deals with, shows up at the Tom Brady events, and he's such a good soldier about losing his job, and he took all that with a lot of dignity because if you watch that Patriot Dynasty thing, you remember how tough that was for him to lose his job. Anyway, I like Drew Bledsoe a lot, and I think he's a very deserved top 20 player. Ken?
Fell just outside 25 for me. I thought he was a good quarterback, not a great quarterback. Just never thought he had all the tools to get you over the top.
I had him at 12th. I think he's one of the best Patriots, top 15. I think he was very good. I think he was better than Grogan, better than any. I think he was their best quarterback in their history till 2001.
Yeah, I had him at 13.
So I had him at 12. I think him and Bill Parcells revitalized the franchise. And also, yeah, he threw interceptions, but he was, again, fun to watch in an era where they made a Super Bowl. Didn't win it, but made a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And, I like to watch him. He was exciting. And, for a Patriot fan of that time, having exciting players to watch was a big deal because there weren't that many over the years.
By the way, I have no problem with him being that high. He just fell into that
Yeah, no, that's all
category
right.
again of like after 5, everybody was the same.
Yeah.
So
No, I have guys you've mentioned.
Well, did you have Steve Grogan ahead of Drew Bledsoe?
yes,
Okay, I can't go with that.
No,
one.
I didn't either.
Can't go with that.
All right.
Can't go with it.
I had
Can't
a
go.
personal connection.
Okay.
can
Well,
I say?
I met Drew Bledsoe once.
No, but I hung out.
Yeah.
I don't know either one of them.
All right.
I'm sure they're both fine gentlemen.
Number 14. I always think of Jim Rice when I see the number 14. And also tied with 15th. This was a tiebreaker by the intrepid producer, Evan. Troy Brown.
Woo!
Troy Brown. Ken, Troy Brown.
Just one of the great playmakers in New England Patriot history, I think. Never mind on the offensive end. He made some plays on defense that
That's right.
I remember distinctly to this day.
Yep.
No, just
So do San Diego Charger fans.
right. One of their best wide receivers of all time, or inside, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
whatever.
called.
Yes. Yeah, he's one of the great Patriots. I wouldn't put him myself top 10. I had him at 13. But one of the great Patriots, big player, clutch.
Yeah.
Deserves to be in the top 15 to me. And again, I had him at 13.
One of the great things about football, which I think is baseball similar, basketball less so. Basketball, you tend to be known for the volume of things you do. In football, you think of big plays. And in the case of Troy Brown, in the game I alluded to earlier, the Giants game, he made a ridiculous behind-the-head catch when the Patriots were making a comeback. Bledsoe threw behind him. He caught the ball. He had the punt return in the AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh, the 2001 season. He had the incredible play where the Patriots, Tom Brady threw an interception against the San Diego Chargers. Troy Brown comes back, knocks the ball loose, and he played a long time. Patriots recover the fumble. He had a long career with the Patriots. He was a tremendous punt returner.
Yeah.
Tremendous punt returner. When he would catch the ball, his secret was run immediately. Pick up 5 yards and then hopefully go from there. But he would never stand there and look, what am I going to do? I just thought he's a well-deserving top 15 player of all time. All right, number 13. Bruce Armstrong. Okay, left tackle. Who's up now? I can't even
I think
remember.
it's me.
Go ahead, Jim.
Bruce Armstrong, I have is one of their greatest offensive linemen. I have him over Mankins. I had him at 15. He was just one of the best in the league for several years, and just a great offensive lineman, and I think deserving of the top 15 of the Patriots.
Yeah, I had him at 12.
Had him at 12?
Yep, I'm fine with that.
I had him just above Logan Mankins. Tremendous player. I don't want to take anything away from him. He straddled a couple of eras.
Yeah.
But I remember when he left, I don't know why this stuck in my head. They asked Bill Parcells what he thought, and he said, great kid, great player. I think he left a little something in the tank.
Interesting.
I'm not sure what he meant by that, but
When I think of him, I think of Bruce Armstrong, this huge, gigantic man. For some reason in my head, I'm thinking now he's probably like small compared to guys who play his position.
no, he was a great player,
good
and
point.
you don't want to take anything away from him.
No.
All right, now we're getting down. We're getting down to the top 12 here. This is
boy.
getting exciting. You can
Yeah.
feel the energy in the air. All right, number 12.
Can cut it with a
Willie
knife.
McGinnis out of Sam Izzo's University of Southern California. The great Willie McGinnis.
Yep.
Tremendous linebacker. Back in the 1990s, for you folks that don't know this, we were doing Sports Nuts. And in 93, 94, 95, and 96, I actually went to Foxborough to interview all the draft choices.
I remember that.
I interviewed Willie McGinnis, and I went home and I said to Mrs. Sports Nuts, the guy has muscles in his face. He was scary. I had never stood next to an athlete with a physique like that.
That's right.
He was 6'5", shoulders out to here, waist like this.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable competitive athlete. But I'm going to say, as a Patriot, his biggest accomplishment, he's the all-time sack leader in Super Bowls. I think a lot of people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Made some big plays. I felt like his career was a little shy of what his talent could have been.
Okay.
He never developed to the Andre Tippett or Lawrence Taylor level, obviously, but a very, very good player, well-deserving top 15.
Yeah. Well, I had him a little below that, but great player. I saw him in person myself once at some event I was working at, and you looked at him, you're a monster.
Yeah.
You're not really a human being. Like, no one's shaped like that.
Yeah.
But he was a great player and also made a lot of big plays for the New England Patriots. So
I had him at 19, and I think he's my second best Patriot linebacker, but he could be third. He's another guy to me. Very good career, but not top 5 Patriot, but very good career. He was drafted pretty high, too, wasn't he?
He was drafted in the top 5 in 1994
right, from USC.
and you can't dispute that pick. I mean, it was a great pick.
Oh, no, it was a great pick.
Great pick.
Great
yeah.
pick.
But
I mean, 19th best Patriot for me is not bad.
no, I
you
had
know,
him a little higher.
really
not
good
much.
player.
Left a little on the table for Paul. Okay.
No, a little bit. Okay, number 11. Another tiebreaker. This guy, all he does is break ties. All right. Adam Vinatieri. Whose turn is it? I can't even remember.
Jim.
Oh, it's
Go
me?
ahead, Jim.
Yeah,
All right.
Jim, go ahead.
Adam Vinatieri, one of the greatest Patriots of all time. He, the huge kicks most people know about that have followed recent Patriot history. Maybe the greatest kick of all time in the snow that enabled the dynasty to start. The Super Bowl winning kick in 2 Super Bowls. Missed the clutch. Went on to do this basically same performance for Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I have him at 10. I couldn't put him like top 5 because he's a kicker. But, I mean, 10th greatest Patriot as a kicker to me says a lot. Not that anybody cares what I think, but I think he's one of the deserving of the top 10.
At the end of the first Super Bowl that they that they won, they asked Bill Belichick, "Were you nervous when Adam Vinatieri went out to kick the 48-yard field goal with a chance to win the Super Bowl?" He said, "No." They said, "Well, why weren't you nervous?" He said, "Because he's our best player."
Yeah.
So in 2001, Bill Belichick thought Adam Vinatieri was the best player on the football team. He was a football player. He ran down Herschel Walker in that famous kickoff return. He made the big kicks in the Snow Bowl. Didn't make all his kicks. Missed some kicks in the Carolina Super Bowl. But he made the one that counted at the end, another 40-yard plus kick. Right. And I remember one of my colleagues at the time said, if the goalposts were as wide as a doorway, that kick would have been good. That kick would have been good.
Yeah. All right. Vinatieri would have been much higher if it wasn't for me because I had him down in the 20s because I did hold it against him that he's a kicker. So, sorry, guys. But I just don't think a kicker is one of the greatest football players they've ever
Without
had.
Adam Vinatieri, they're not in that first
I get
Super
it.
Bowl.
I get it. I get it.
Ridiculous kick.
Incredible. But we're talking about a career of football.
Okay. All right. Well, you're wrong. Okay. All right. Number 10.
I've been wrong many a times. And
Now, this one
this time
I
not.
struggled with. Mike Haynes.
What number are we on?
Number 10. Number 10. The greatest, 10th greatest Patriot player of all time. Mike Haynes.
Wow.
Who played for the Patriots for about 7-8 years, then played for the Raiders for about 7-8 years. Did have a lot of great years with the Patriots. Was one of the top cornerbacks in the league. Was a tremendous punt returner. Was a superb athlete. I've seen him interviewed. He looks like he could still play. A great player. Went on to even more success with the Raiders and ended up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So hard to keep him out of the Patriots' top 10 list.
Yeah, he came out of my top 10 list. He fell into my category after everybody else for some reason. And I remember fond days of being a Patriots fan at that point, but he just didn't. He fell in my other category of so many other guys.
Okay, this is the first one I have a real problem with. All right, and I know there's other lists that don't agree with me, but some do. Mike Haynes is one of the top 5 New England Patriots to me, hands down. Hands down.
Well, I am way
This-
off
I had him
this
up.
one.
This
high up.
is a cornerback that was the
Oh,
best
wait a
in
minute. Sorry, I did have him. Sorry.
All right.
I did have
This is a cornerback
Can't read
who
my
was
own
the best in the league. Very few, if any, players could outrun him. Okay? He was a great punt returner. He played 7 seasons for the Pats. He did go on to form one of the greatest cornerback duos of all time when he went to the Raiders with Willie Brown. To me, I had him at 4. I think Mike Haynes is an exceptional football player, and I don't think I can sit here and see him shamed. No, that's from Animal
I had him
House.
at like
Something
12.
something similar with Animal House, right? No, but in all seriousness, I personally think he's a top 5 Patriot. To me, I thought we might argue, 4 or 5 or maybe 3 with Mike Haynes, but that's the beauty of these things.
Yep.
That's
Well,
right.
Just one vote.
You only
Okay.
one vote.
It should be, it's democracy, right, Ken?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Defending democracy. We are defending democracy on this show.
All
like
right.
no other show
Okay.
that's sweeping the country.
Are we sweeping the? Never mind.
Oh,
All right. Number
kidding me.
9, the 9th greatest New England Patriot of all time, Big Vince Wilfork. Ken, go first.
Oh, I mean, come on. Wilfork dominating middle of the line defensive player. Like every team had a triple team him, which made everybody else be great. I mean, Wilfork was a tremendous player, tremendous athlete. I loved him. Loved Vince.
All
Another
right.
local guy too, Sharonite.
I had him
around here.
I had him at 11. Great lineman. Dominated the middle of the line, like Ken said. One of the top 15 for me. I didn't get him into the top 10, but I really don't have a problem with him there.
Yeah, I had him up around 10, 11. Wilfork, again, I think it's more important to me than maybe some of you guys. He was a good character, too.
Oh yeah.
He was funny. He was a leader in the locker room. He was durable. He played hurt. He played a very unglamorous position.
Yes, he did.
And just was a great Patriot, and I think well-deserved to be
And
in
one
the
of
top
those
10.
guys that was really big
Oh, yeah.
when they weren't all that big.
Yep.
In the correction category, I had Logan Mankins at 24. Now that I look at it, just like you with Haynes.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. Or
All right.
someone. I think it was Haynes.
Jim, you're going to lead this one off.
All right.
Number 8, I always think of Carl Yastrzemski. Number 8, Richard Seymour.
Well,
Richard Seymour.
Chose well because that's exactly where I had him. To me, greatest defensive lineman in Patriots history. He, I think, was he was almost unstoppable one-on-one, and just a great defensive lineman. I think he made everybody around him better because if you're game planning against the Patriots, you've got to go in there and figure out what you're going to do with Richard Seymour. So great Patriot, and I had him at 8. I think he's right where he belongs.
He was a very mature player when he got here.
Yeah.
I remember when they won the Super Bowl, Willie McGinnis was overwhelmed with emotion. Just tears were streaming down his face. And the psychologist in me said, Willie is relieved that he didn't blow it because he held Marshall Faulk on the play where Tabucky Jones ran back for a touchdown, gave the Patriots a 21-point lead, and then that was overturned. And then they got a touchdown to cut it to 1 touchdown that St.
Right.
Louis did. And I think Willie was just so relieved that they won. And Richard Seymour embraced him like a father almost.
Did he?
And he was a rookie
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
2001. Always a very mature player. Not sure why he was gone so soon. I mean, Belichick.
Well, that's
didn't
another
wanna play
Belichick
him,
question that
didn't
I
wanna
have
pay
for him.
You know,
Traded him way too early.
Traded him early, and he went on to some good years. But as he said when he finally got into the Patriot Hall of Fame, it's about damn time.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it
he
is.
should.
You know what I love about like Seymour and McGinnis? Though? They were like athletes playing like defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't just big, gigantic
Mm-hmm.
guys. They were real athletes, lean and mean and long
Yeah.
and tall. And
Yeah.
you know, McGinnis built like this, and Seymour 6 foot whatever. And
Yeah. No, they were good athletes.
Yeah.
All right, number 7. I'm going to take this one. Julian Edelman. Okay. Here's my argument for Edelman. Football is about making big plays, and this guy made them all. He ran back punts to win games. He made spectacular catches in multiple playoff games and Super Bowls. I think he's an NFL Hall of Famer. I don't care what other players were in. I don't care what other players are out. When I go to the Hall of Fame, I want to see the most important, interesting, famous players in the history of the National Football League. And you cannot write a history of the Patriots dynasty Part 2, 2010 to 2019, without talking about Julian Edelman, a superb athlete and a great story, drafted as a quarterback out of a FCS school, I think, a Division One. It used to call Division 1A. I'm going to let you tell the story about what Dennis and Callahan said when they drafted him.
Oh, geez, I have to tell that story.
Yeah,
they did
why not?
Mr.
Why
Kraft,
not?
They
But,
did Mr. Kraft a favor.
I hope he's one of the athletes I hope to meet, because I'm going to say to him, you made a huge difference, man.
Wow.
They don't win championships without you on that team.
Well, he has the greatest catch in the history of the Super Bowl ever, I think.
One of the two.
One of
Yeah.
the two. I think even better than the other one you're thinking about. That catch, while he's in a pile of three guys, as the ball's about to fall to the ground, and somehow or another he goes like this. Against Seattle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
No,
just
no, that's Atlanta.
Atlanta is just like the greatest Super Bowl catch ever. I had him a little lower, but yeah, he is the Patriots. I mean, just incredible.
I had him at 9.
Yeah.
What can you say? Mr. Big Play,
Yeah.
second best receiver in their history to me. And, yeah, I don't think they win a few Super Bowls without him. I mean, I think that Atlanta game, Gronk wasn't playing.
Correct.
He was hurt. So they needed a big game from Edelman.
Yep.
And the guy came through. Totally.
I had him at number 5. I think his impact on the Patriots is that much.
Did we mention the story that they did Mr. Kraft a favor?
Well, no, they said Mr. Kraft drafted the little Jewish boy.
Yeah, I they did him a favor by drafting the little Jewish kid.
The little
Now, by
Jewish
the way, it
boy
was a
just showed it.
7th round draft pick.
Yeah.
So the Brady to Edelman throw
Yeah.
is a 6th rounder to a 7th rounder.
Yeah.
How'd Bill do on those picks?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Good one, Jim.
Yeah.
Ken, number 6, Stanley Morgan. One of the I'm going to say great forgotten Patriots.
Yeah.
Unbelievable numbers, folks. If you haven't looked, the guy averaged 16 or 17 yards a reception for his career.
Yeah.
Was a tremendous athlete, punt returner too, right? And, he played in that dark age of Patriot history where they didn't win a lot, although they did make the playoffs a couple times with Morgan. A great Patriot and well-deserved to be in the top 10, I think.
Yeah. I agree with that. I love Stanley Morgan. I thought he was one of the great wide receivers of all time. And another guy that I luckily enough got to play basketball with, because they all lived down in the area where I was, and they all played at the same YMCA, so we got to know him and play with him. He was probably the most amazing athlete that I played a sport, next to, where you watch and go, oh my God, because he wasn't the tallest guy in the world, 6 foot maybe, 6'1", if I remember correctly. He could dunk the basketball from just a standing position and go up and dunk it. But he played basketball like a pro. He was just an unbelievable
Could Grogan
athlete.
dunk?
What?
Could Grogan dunk?
Yes.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree on Stanley Morgan, greatest receiver in their history. One of the most electrifying players you're ever going to find. I just think this guy is just a tremendous, tremendous receiver. And, what would the old saying? What would you pay a Stanley Morgan
right.
today?
Oh, my
I'll
God.
leave it at that.
Yeah, good one. All right, Ken, I didn't mean to steal your thunder. Number 5, Jim, you got this one. Ty Law.
Okay, I had him at 7. In my opinion, the second greatest cornerback in Patriots history. And frankly, it's close, but I cannot put him over Mike Haynes. But that doesn't detract from anything Law did. I mean, he was incredible. Big interception in the Super Bowl, big play. Maybe that's what people think of because Haynes didn't win, Law did. But again, he is right up there in the top 10. I got him at 7. Just a great Patriot. He came back and did analysis for them on that post-game show, and he celebrated with Troy Brown when they won that Super Bowl while the host was depressed. So even for that, he should be in the top. No, he's a top 10 player easily.
Yeah, I had him at 6.
I think people forget that in the 90s, what an unbelievably good drafter Bill Parcells was.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you start with Drew Bledsoe. You've got Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis. He brings in Troy Brown. He gets Adam Vinatieri. I think he might have been a free agent signing. I can't remember. And Ty Law's there in '95. Ted Johnson. When he drafts Ty Law ends up on the Eddie Andelman show, and he says, "My goal is to make the NFL Hall of Fame."
Yeah, I remember that.
He literally, and he did it.
Yeah,
he did it.
do it.
He's a true Patriot Hall of Famer. There's not that many of them.
Right.
There's not. There will be more. They're coming, but Ty Law is one of the first, and just a tremendous player. And that's pick in the Super Bowl was an iconic interception.
Yep.
And I was at that Super Bowl with our good buddy Jan, and I said to myself, "Wow, we're ahead.
We're winning.
We're winning. This is unbelievable." Ken.
Yeah, no, Ty Law, I have him at 6, so high up there for me. I think of like consistently being a great defensive corner all the time.
Yep, he absolutely was. Okay, number 4, Andre Tippett, another local resident, the 4th greatest New England Patriot of all time. Andre Tippett, I'm going to start with the negatives, okay? Andre Tippett had the misfortune of playing through most of a bad era of Patriot history. They did make the playoffs a few times, but what an outstanding player. He was sort of the AFC's Lawrence Taylor, a really big, tough linebacker who made all the plays, made the NFL Hall of Fame, maybe a little later than he should have, became an expatriate of great renown, working in the community, a great guy, and very well deserved to be in the top 10.
Still works for the Patriots to this day, community relations. Another local Sharon guy that we know.
Yep.
His family's very nice. True Hall of Famer from the New England Patriots. He was, I think, their best player for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's 5 for me. Greatest linebacker in their history, hands down to me. Just incredible defensive player. I would like to say one thing about that era and about Andre Tippett, that I don't consider this a negative, okay? Andre Tippett, to me, is Thurman Munson, 1976. Because Sparky Anderson, who was managing the Reds, said about Thurman Munson, who was the Yankees catcher in the World Series, he's great, but nobody's Johnny Bench. Some people compare Tippett to Lawrence Taylor. This is not a negative. No one's Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor is the single greatest defensive player in the history of football. Bill Belichick has said he's privileged to coach the greatest defensive player and the greatest offensive player.
And maybe the greatest kicker.
He may have done that too. So that is not a negative on Andre Tippett. Andre Tippett deserves every accolade. And to me, he's one of the lock top 5s. I considered him a lock top 5.
Oh, yeah. I had him at 4.
Yep. I had him at 6. Okay.
Close enough, Paul.
Okay. But I don't consider that shameful.
Not at all.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
No.
NFL Hall of Famer, guys. That's big.
Oh, he's awesome.
All right.
Tippett.
Number 3, Ken. Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, I didn't have him make my list. Oh, Rob.
else is new?
That Rob Gronkowski.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, just one of their great players of all time. I still think the greatest tight end of all time.
Rob Gronkowski is, to me, is the greatest tight end of all time.
Yeah.
However, I've seen Patriots lists where he's outside the top 10, which just, to me, is mind-boggling, but whatever. That's why we do these things, to have fun. To me, Rob Gronkowski was just, you look at tight ends in history, Patriots had a comparable tight end in Russ Francis, but he wasn't this good. He was a good receiver and he was a good blocker. Dave Casper was always one of my favorite tight ends, but he was really a great receiver and, decent blocker. Most of one or the other. Kelsey is an exception too, but the other thing about Gronk was his hands. He had hands like a wide receiver. Like, he could get balls. Just incredible player. To me, this is the easy part. Lock top 3. You can argue about 2 or 3. I had him 3. And I think, just to me, I don't understand how he's outside the top 10 for some, but great Patriot.
I think he's the greatest offensive player in Patriot history whose name does not begin with the word Tom. Let's start there. He was a phenomenal tight end. It always looked like he was the big brother playing against the little brothers on Thanksgiving. He would knock players over that tried to tackle him,
Yeah.
like, excuse me, and they would hang from him as he ran down the field. Just an outstanding blocker, and I'm going to give him character points. Funny, outrageous, fun in an era that I think Belichick would have maybe preferred someone a little bit more businesslike, but he might have secretly thought, this guy has an important role here to kind of keep things a little bit light. I mean, a real crazy guy.
How about the spike?
Yeah, the famous spike.
And the famous, I'm not going to the Lions. Because Belichick was going to trade him to the Lions, and he was going to retire.
Yeah.
And look, the Patriots ended up stumbling into a good move there.
Yes.
And then he goes on and gets another ring with another team, which was a
Unbelievable.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, number 2, no surprise here, the Hog, John Hanna, another guy that's settled into the local area,
Yeah.
the great left guard of the New England Patriots.
Okay, John Hanna was on the cover of Sports Illustrated where it bluntly stated, greatest offensive lineman of all time. I still believe that. For years, I used to say one of the problems with the Patriots is their greatest player is an offensive lineman and not an offensive player. Obviously, we'll change that.
Skill position.
Skill
Position.
change in a second. For skill position. Let me just say about John Hanna, I don't know the date. I do know the team. Dallas Cowboys, John Hanna, might have been a Thanksgiving Day game against Randy White. Randy White was an incredible defensive lineman. I mean, one of the greatest to ever play. John Hanna put on a clinic, one-on-one blocking on Randy White that day. The announcers caught it early. They emphasized it. He put on an absolute clinic. This is, to me, the second greatest Patriot of all time and the greatest offensive lineman of all time.
I had him at number 3 right behind Gronk. No shame there. I think the greatest offensive lineman in Patriot history. A tough. I think he played 1 year with 2 separated shoulders. I mean, just crazy stuff that you don't see anymore. He retired after that Super Bowl season where they fell short. But I think he played 13 years with the Patriots, was one of the highest picks in the early 70s draft, 73 I think it was, and deserves every accolade he's gotten, including Canton, a Foxborough Hall of Fame, the whole bit.
Yeah.
No question, the second greatest or third greatest Patriot of all time.
The real deal. The real deal. Personality, too, like you said. Fun guy.
Yeah, a little bit interesting guy.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least, no surprise here, the greatest Patriot of all time is Tom Brady. Everything that can possibly be said about Tom Brady has been said. So I'm just going to tell you what I think his legacy is. I think his legacy is his postseason wins. I think that to win in excess of 30 postseason games is, just do the math. You play 15 years, you have to win 2 postseason games a year just to get to 30. There are an incredible number of NFL stars that could not get to 10 postseason wins. I don't think Dan Marino got there. Certainly Joe Namath did not get there. Now, there were different eras where they didn't play as many postseason games. I'm aware of that. But the only guy who's going to, I think, possibly challenge him there could be Patrick Mahomes. But he's got to get through his 30s. And Tom Brady kept playing and playing and playing and playing.
Yep.
And he went on to greatness with another team. I think his incredible ability to anticipate what the defense was going to do from a coaching perspective is his legacy. But big picture, his performance in postseason games is just beyond what anybody could imagine. I can't really remember going away from a postseason game and thinking, Brady's why they lost. Brady's why they lost. They got flat out beat in 2 Super Bowls by the other team coming down and scoring in the 2 giant Super Bowls. And, he passed for 500-plus yards against the Eagles as Belichick decided to rest their top cornerbacks.
And somebody didn't play that game, right?
His postseason play for me is just, that's his legacy.
I want to take, since his football accomplishments are so great, you've outlined his post, I want to take a different tact with him because he's so clearly number one, and we all know why. So 2 things. One, Boston's been very fortunate. In my opinion, we've had the greatest hitter of all time. We've had the greatest winner of all time in Bill Russell. Hitter was Ted Williams. We've had one of the greatest hockey players, maybe the most exciting hockey player of all time in Bobby Orr. And I think this, aside from the postseason, to sum up Tom Brady, the single greatest football player that ever played. How lucky we were he played here, except for those last 3 years. The only comp to Tom Brady in the modern era is not in football. It's in basketball. It's Michael Jordan. They both had 6 wins. They both lost playoffs, you know.
Well, Brady got his 7th, actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's right. Brady got a 7th with Tampa Bay. My mistake. I kind of put that to this.
Yeah.
It's painful. Although I did root for him. So that's the only comp to me. And look, Michael Jordan, with all due respect, was more spectacular. Brady, to me, was just the model of cool, the model of efficiency. When the game was on the line, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody I don't know how he did it. It was just like he was.
Everything seemed to slow down.
Everything seemed to slow down, which all the great athletes do. But, excuse me. But he was so efficient. It was so cool. There was no wasted motions.
Yeah.
There was
And were you ever worried when
so-
they were behind?
Not really.
A normal amount of
Not
worry.
really, because it's like, it's Tom Brady. I mean, I guess to finish this thought is just what I believe Ty Law said to someone. Maybe it was Rodney Harrison in the second Super Bowl when he goes, "Don't worry, we got Tom Brady."
Yeah.
And it wasn't only him that said it. You know who also said it?
Who was that?
Opponents.
Yeah.
Because in
saw it.
the Atlanta Super Bowl when they were
Yeah.
up 28-3, they have Atlanta players going, they got that guy over there.
Well, the
they
interesting
got that guy over there.
The
And
interesting
he got in people's heads.
The interesting
He
thing
did.
about that clip is one of the players was celebrating, and someone was almost warning him
Yep.
about Brady, and the warning proved prophetic. So I put Tom Brady up there beyond a football player with Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, you've said it all. I mean, Brady's just. And by the way, what did we get? 19 or 20 seasons to get to watch him play?
20.
20.
Well,
20.
one he
One
only
he didn't
played
play.
about a
One
half
he
a
didn't
game.
play. So lucky. I mean, the greatest quarterback ever, perhaps the greatest football player ever. I think some people would argue Taylor, maybe. I don't know, but I think the greatest. We're just so lucky. He's just unbelievable. 6 Super Bowls. God, he lost 3, but like you said, he wasn't on the field losing them either.
Yeah, well, they
mean,
were in all of them.
and they were in all of them. Just
I'll say this. When I'm involved in sports discussions and they say, where does Brady rank? I say he's the most accomplished football player
absolutely.
of all time.
Yeah.
Is he the greatest? Because there are other positions. But nobody has been involved in more success, regular season. Felger and Maz are idiots. They'll say, for example, well, he was in a tomato can division all those years.
I hate that.
His one, I'll say this once, I'll say it again. His one-loss winning percentage in the division was the same out of division.
Well,
Right.
who did that for you?
Well, you did it.
Thank you.
All right.
I did a study on
Credit.
that. I'm being sarcastic, but I did a study on that because of that nonsense that was coming out at that
Right.
time, and it was only slightly higher. I mean, amounts that don't matter. As in
It
polling,
was 70+%.
as in political polling, they say within the margin of error.
Right,
It was
right.
a ridiculous
1
statement
or
at
2
the
game
time,
difference.
and it remains a ridiculous.
And we
Right.
thought every year that he was here, we had a chance to win the Super Bowl.
every year.
Yeah.
Every
Every year.
single year because
Yeah.
we had Tom Brady.
I know
So if
we-
you look back at Patriot failure in the Belichick-Brady era, I have more to complain about with the coaching than I do the quarterback.
Correct.
Think about that. 2010, 2006, Belichick tried to win without wide receivers. We're not going to have wide receivers.
Right, didn't
We're
matter.
going to pick guys off the waiver wire, and they still almost beat Indy. 2010, he decides to bench Wes Welker because he made a foot comment,
Right.
and they end up falling behind to the Jets. There was the year that he decided not to throw the ball against Miami and gave up the #1 seed.
Right.
And they ended up losing in the playoffs at Denver
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they didn't have home field advantage. And then in 2017, they didn't put Malcolm Butler into the game. I can't think of 4 things that Brady did wrong that cost them postseason success. I can think of 4 things that you did, Bill, and I know you watch.
Can we wrap up with a couple of things?
Let's
First
wrap
of all,
up.
I think you've got a revelation from our producer to read.
Okay. No votes or honorable mentions?
No, the honorable from Evan.
All right, so the honorable mentions are players that never received a vote. Mike Vrabel, Matt Slater, Rodney Harrison, and Sam Cunningham. Quick comment from me on that list. Rodney Harrison, loved him. Too short of a time with a success. Matt Slater, I really struggled with that one, but special team success just didn't make it onto the list for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good list from Evan. But, yeah, I didn't have them. The guys that I did have, I don't know if this was a sentimental vote, but for 25, I put Gino Cappelletti, who was a very good receiver and a very good kicker for the Boston Patriots. Another guy who I read about that I didn't even know about, but was a multi-team all-star for the Boston Patriots, was Bob D. He's been ranked as high as the top 15 defensive lineman, and I confess. But here's the one that I was very surprised didn't make it for me, was Leon Gray. Tremendous offensive lineman, formed the best left side in football with John Hanna. But, hey, he's in that
Ken,
order.
I'll have one more. Do you have somebody that didn't make it that you thought was high up? I have one.
I'll go quickly. I did have Rodney Harrison on that list because of what you said, not long enough. I had Curtis Martin there.
Oh, good
Great
one.
player.
3 years.
Deion Branch. And I threw Nick Bonaconi on there.
Oh, I had him too. I'm sorry. I actually had him very, yes.
And by the way, you mentioned Russ Francis.
I had him
earlier.
at 16.
He mentioned it, but
I had him
right.
at 16. Nick Bonaconi.
So my
I forgot
highest
about him.
player that did not make the list at all, and he was actually in the top 15, was Dante Hightower, who made plays as big as Malcolm Butler's at the end of the 2014 Super Bowl. Otherwise, they don't win it. He makes a tackle on the 1 yard line with one arm, and the other arm is injured. Excuse me. And he also was instrumental in winning the 2016 Super Bowl against Atlanta, so I got him in there. Anyway, so good job, fellas. That's it.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
The Patriots' top 20 players of all time is in the bag. In the book, whatever. All right. Good to see you, folks. Thanks for joining us on Boston Sports Nuts.
Thank you for watching Boston Sports Nuts. You can find all of our episodes available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For more information, go to westwoodmediacenter.tv or follow Boston Sports Nuts on Facebook, Instagram, and X.